What's going on, YouTube? Let me get this fixed here. This video camera thing. Guys, bear with me 1 second because I've got you on the webcam and the TV monitor is back that way, so I have no idea if anybody's saying or even in here. So I want to put the phone up, look at the comments, and turn the volume down. So how's everybody doing today? I'm over here sitting getting bed sores. Sitting over here getting bed sores. Trying to get off my Wi-Fi so I can stream better. There we go. There we go. There we go. What up, Kyle? So, I had a crap ton of video footage from Ohio to New Jersey at the O2, the 90. Even got out of the truck, checked out Baltimore as far as the piers, and had the video all done, all complete. And AJ, I'm doing good. Relaxing, studying for my permit. Get that permit under your belt. That's for sure. That's for sure. But check this out. So this is what happened. So as you maybe you can see, or maybe you can't see, this video right here is the video that I made. Last video, 17 minutes and 21 seconds. As you can see, it's pictures there, everything's good. And when you click on the video, this is what you get. So I know what I did. So I had a crap ton of where the video was. So I originally started out the video was like an hour and 45, 50 minutes. And of course, when you fast forward a bunch of stuff, footage goes by quick. And I took out some things that was kind of redundant on the night driving and stuff. But so my phone storage started getting low, so I started deleting some of my videos after I had uploaded on it in the software as far as KineMaster. But where I had not exported it out yet, it zapped everything when I deleted everything. So it sucked, but it is what it is. I'm actually up here in New Jersey now, and let me show you guys here. So this is my clock right now. As you can see, guys, I've been sitting in the sitting there for quite a while, 21 hours and 58 minutes. And my load, so to kind of give you an idea where I'm at up here in New Jersey, up here at Molly Pitcher truck stop. Look who's beside of me. But so yeah, it's been a little bit of wait, but headed back to Kentucky area. My load does not pick up. It's a window from noon to midnight, so I'm hoping that it'll be ready when I get there at noon. So I'm probably going to roll out here probably about 11 o'clock. I'm only about I'm 34 miles from my 01. It's a dry load going back to Kentucky. So I'll get some footage for you going back that way. But it really kind of sucked that the video, everything got deleted on the last one because I had went out and checked out a few restaurants as far as in Baltimore, as far as some oysters and some shrimp, but now I know, do not delete anything until you export the video out. Do you primarily stay in the Kentucky area, and what's your average miles a week, bro? I tell you, Kyle, the last couple weeks, man, I've been probably the last 2 weeks, I've been in Kentucky and Ohio a lot, and that's not the norm. I'm typically Alabama, Texas, Georgia. I went up to Ohio, Indiana, Chicago area, so it varies. But my average miles per week right now, man, is just it kind of varies. But I'm usually averaging about 2,900 miles a week. That's what I'm usually running. I just came off of home time for 10 days a couple of weeks ago. Came off on the 14th. So today is what? The 22nd. So 8 days ago. Yeah, 2,800. And it ain't about the miles, Kyle. It's about the revenue. So, I mean, I could care less if I ran 1,000 miles. As long as I made my revenue, I'm good. Because I'm not getting cents per mile. I'm getting, I'm a lease operator. So, you want less miles, more money. So that's the kind of the name of the game. But usually I'm bringing home average revenue to the truck. It's obviously been down here where I just now came off the 10 days because I came back on a Thursday. Payroll stopped on Tuesday. So you got Thursday, Friday, then you got your weekend freight. Weekend freight typically right now is, a little slower than the beginning of the week. So had a really good load coming from Ohio to Jersey, less than 700 miles, and almost paid $2,400. But you got to add in there as far as a bunch of tows as well. So I'll probably get hit with maybe, I'd say $200 of tows of that. So still not bad revenue. Are your loads over 1,600 or $1.60 then a mile? Every load's different, Kyle. I mean, when you're averaging out on my Ace 2 class, bear with me 1 second here. Bear with me 1 second. So this kind of gives you the breakdown for May. This is the Ace 2 class that I just did. What's up, Dirt Farmer? The Ace 2 class that I just did broke down all my numbers for the month of May. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to, I like to tell you guys the truth, the facts, not kind of BS you as far as everything. All right, here we go. So here is my settlement worksheet. It's a breakdown of all my numbers of total miles per week, total revenue for the week, My fuel surcharge, meaning what they pay me as far as when you get uh, a load, they give you a fuel surcharge in that load as part of your revenue. Then I got tractor fuel for the week, and I've got how many gallons that I've put in per week as well. So as far as cost wise, so for the for all of month of May, my average was 2,498 miles per week. That's what my average was. As far as when you break down all the numbers, $2,498 is what it ended up being. And if you want to add up the true fuel costs, so when you go to, I forget what company it is, maybe it's KLLM, they guarantee the 99 cents, or maybe it's CRS, I don't remember who it is, but one of those companies guarantees you don't pay any more fuel than 99 cents wherever you go to. If you were to break down just the month of May, my actual fuel cost per mile was 0.08 cents. So even though that I'm putting in all this fuel, I'm talking about I put in $3,200 and $3,206 for the month. That's just my fuel cost. But my fuel surcharge that reimbursed me of that cost was $23.87. So that's to kind of give you the breakdown of what it actually. But the actual fuel cost, if you want to talk true numbers, you may be asking me questions here. No, okay. But 0.08 is what my actual fuel cost per mile is right now. And my gross revenue, you said, is $1.60 then a mile. My gross revenue per mile right now is $1.97. So that's just a month of May to give you the breakdown of that's my actual what I'm. Even though I'm getting some that's $1.20, $1.40, or $2 or $3, my average for the month of May is $1.97. And you're talking about my miles per gallon, and this is what I've really been working with is for the month of May as well. My miles per gallon is 8.06 miles per gallon. That's what I'm averaging. Now, in that month of May, I kind of switched it up as far as from 60 to 62. Then I hauled a lot of empties, so I went from 62, because typically if I'm hauling an empty, I'm at 65 all the way, because I can get like 10.4. I can get really good fuel mileage. But when you average it out, it's not it's not the truth for everything. So what I've planned to do. Really good, brother, for an average, yeah. So what I've planned to do is for the entire month, I've 60 miles an hour. I want to know what my true cost is, or true miles per gallon, no matter if I'm heavy, empty, or whatever. 60 miles an hour is all I'm going to do for 1 month after I got back. So from the 14th until July 14th, I'm going to do 60 miles an hour on cruise control. Now, if I'm going uphill, downhill, obviously I'm gonna get up speed and get down speed. But that's what I'm planning to do for that. Then the next month, the next 30 days after July 14th, I'm going to step it up to 62 to kind of see the difference, because even though it's 2 miles an hour more, when I took that ACE 2 class, there was a huge difference. Now, it wasn't immediate over a month or two like that, but when you're talking about, if you're making this a career, and if you're doing this for more than 2 or 3 years, you're talking about $30,000 to $60,000 difference that some people had lost in doing that ACE 2 class. as far, I mean, like that's a huge, I mean, that's a lot of money, just for 2 miles or 5 miles more. Um, so I'm gonna do a little. That's my little thing that I'm gonna do as far as test it for 60 days or 30 days at 60. Then I'll go to 62 for 30 days. And when you do that, uh, at that point, I should be over, like right now, I'm at 26,269 miles on flash on the truck. Um, so, with that being said, they said that the true center track metrics that they give you, that has breakdown of all of your speeds, your idling, and how fast you're moving, what you're moving miles, because within the last 30 days, uh, and they went from, since I got the truck, so they went from, on, when I say 8.06, that was from once I signed my lease on March 28th. So they did it from there until I took the class, and I took the class on June 2nd, I believe I did. June 1st. It's right here, June 1st. So so even with this, from 30 days ago, that's what this CentraTrax is my fuel mileage was 8.53. But again, overall, from the life of when I took the lease at March 28th. What's up, Chad? So I went from 8.53 in the last 30 days to a total average of 8.06. And you're saying, well, that ain't much of a difference. Yeah, that's not much of a difference. But when you're talking about over a period of a year or 2 years, you're talking about, that's where we're talking about that 30, 40, $60,000 a year that you're losing. Basically, you're just throwing it out the window because you're spending that in fuel. And that's just ignorant, in my opinion. As long as you're on time, and pennies add up, exactly, pennies add up. So if you are truly going to make this a career, what you need to do is to make sure, A, you're on time, and to make sure you're on time, you got to do proper, trip planning. That's what you need to do, because I watched Bag's video yesterday or last night, and he done on Friday. I watched it this morning, but he done it last night, and he was talking about, that he basically fuels up now. He needs one, Brandon. I'm going to see if I can get him one. Chad Joe said he likes those shirts. Yeah, those shirts are pretty good. Those shirts are pretty good. But he was talking about. I lost train of thought here. Sorry, guys. Squirrel on you. Totally just lost what I was talking about and everything. But gas. So with Chad, and during the training, and even with when I started my truck, back when I was training with Chad, first off, gas prices were pretty significantly higher than right now. And when I say pretty, I mean, you're talking about sometimes 50 to 80 cents higher than right now they are. Like, for example, I was in Ohio. Gas prices were $1.96 a gallon. I knew I was going to be going into New Jersey. First, I knew I was going to go to Maryland. Then I knew I was going to go to New Jersey. So what I did is I looked at the fuel prices in Maryland and in Jersey, and we're talking about, they were like $2.20, $2.14. So I went ahead and filled up enough to get into Baltimore and Jersey and come back out of there and make sure I had enough fuel. Now, typically I would not do that if the gas prices wasn't as again, that's the whole trip planning. If the gas prices were the same or equal or pretty close to it, I would have just put enough fuel in there to get in and get out, because what Chad talks about a whole lot is, basically all it hurts you is, it helps you in the long run, but it's going to hurt that payroll, that paycheck that week. But you're going to have enough fuel in there for the next week's check if you can do that. For me, I think that just makes sense to, go ahead and plan it out. And I filled up enough, and something that I was not aware of, and I knew it had a little bit of a surcharge, but in Kentucky, because so anytime now that I'm going into Kentucky, I try to not fuel up in Kentucky. Kentucky actually has I don't know if you can hear it or see this right there. They have a 10.4 cents extra fuel surcharge that they tax you with. So no matter at the pump, if it says 302 or whatever, you're paying an extra 10 cents on that as far as once you break it down, even though you're getting a prime discount and stuff. So now anytime I know I'm even going, like right now, I know that I'm be going into Kentucky but I've got enough fuel that I should be able to get out of Kentucky to at least Ohio or the surrounding states where I can fuel up at. But if I need to, I have to, I will. But it's just, again, the whole trip plan and stuff. That's good, Stefan. 6,400. So no, that's definitely a good week. Is that revenue to the truck? I assume. I mean, how many miles was that in, Stefan? About 4K. Damn, that's a lot of miles. It's a lot of miles, though. I mean, it's good money and good revenue, but that's a whole lot of miles. I think the most, what did I do right here? So the most miles that I ran in May was 3,142, so 3,142 miles, and I brought revenue to the truck at 5,489. So that was a really good week. Now I like this week right here that I ran 2,973 miles, and I brought to the truck 6,561. Less miles, more money. And that's what I'm talking about as far as the revenue. I mean, you're talking about $1,100 more in revenue, but 200 miles less than the week before that I did that. So, Kyle, that's what I was talking about as far as the, you definitely want to look at the revenue and not necessarily the mile, unless you're going company. Do you plan on going company, Kyle? Is that what your plan is? Midwest, the West Coast, and back. Nice. Chad, where are you guys at today? Uh-oh, we got old tow truck here getting ready to do a little towing action. Getting ready to tow somebody up out of here, I guess. I'm not sure. No, they're going away from here, or me at least, so that's a good thing. I've been here so long, hell, I thought they was going to tow me. But yeah, 22 hours and 19 minutes I've been sitting. Montana heading to Wisconsin. Loaded in Burley, Idaho. So you got some old potatoes, huh? Some old potatoes. It looks like I'm going to be doing a dry load up out of here and heading it to Excel. So my appointment's at 12 to midnight. Chad, have you ever picked up in hold on, bear with me one second. Let me check this out here. At Dow Chemical Rom and Haas. It's in Bristol, Pennsylvania. The actual location that you pick up, it's a drop and hook, is in Croyton, Croyton, Pennsylvania. But the actual place is, when you look at here, it's Bristol, Pennsylvania. Um, have you ever picked up there? Floor load like the yams. Nice. Those things are a hot mess right there. So, Chad, have you ever delivered or picked up there? I'm just kind of wondering as far as the with the window. No, haven't. Typically, with the a 12-hour window, sometimes that's not a good sign because typically, in my experience here, since I've got my truck, is they give you a 12-hour window because you may get there and you may have to wait 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 hours before them to load it. So that's something that with me trying to get or me heading back to Kentucky, obviously I'm trying to run back as fast as I can to spend a little time with the wife before leaving. Look here, he's over picking up old Swift truck with the. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but he's over there getting the old Swift truck. That thing's been here for a while too. So yeah, I woke up this morning and I had Swift here beside of me, but at least he was bobtailing. At least he was bobtailing. Oh, Sarge, formerly Big City Jason, what's the deal, pickles? And everything's kosher. Everything's kosher, man. Just trying to get up out of here and grab this load and make my way back toward Kentucky. That's all it is, man. That's all it is. So since I've got this new setup here, guys, Chad, this is what I was talking to you about once I was on your truck. I went ahead and got a new internet provider at the house, but so I could bring this. Oh, hold on. Let me get this thing around here. So what I've got here is I've got my Apple, my Mac Mini, that basically, so everything's streaming on the TV there. But as you can see right here, this is that's my internet. So I've had this at my house, using this at my house for the last, I don't know, say for the last 2 years, and really good service. So I was paying $70 a month for my home internet, and once I switched over to AT&T, they had this plan where I can get a home modem. Basically, it's just a modem's all it is. You plug it into the wall, and it's just a wireless modem. And it was only $20 a month if I added it to my AT&T plan. So I disconnected my home internet as far as that I was paying $70 a month for, saved $50, for 2 years, and now they had a offer with the same company that I disconnected it from for $14.95. So shows you how much things changed in 2 years. And I went ahead and put that at the house, and I took this with me because the cable at the house, you had to actually have a cable, a modem as far as that. So this works out perfect. The internet streams good. Going through upgrade myself, and really appreciate your videos. Good glimpse of what comes next. Yeah, thanks, Eric. You still happy with the decision to lease? Absolutely. Still felt it was a better way to go for y'all. So why? Money's why. I mean, the flexibility of doing, being able to turn down loads, and I'm not the one to do that, guys, as far as a lot of times, but I mean, like here in the last, once I came off of home time, I ran from Kentucky to Ohio back and forth 2 different times. And for like, and the pay was, good, considering the miles, the pay was good. But for me, being off those 10 days, as far as with the home time, I needed to get revenue up to basically, because I was in the hole where I had taken that 10 days off. So the revenue was really good. I mean, some was like 250, a mile, but it was just, 200 or 300 miles. So it wasn't adding up, for me. So I actually declined 2 loads, not back to back, but within, first I reached out to, I always reach out to my, this time, one I did was at night shift. So I reached out to my FM, my night shift FM, and I said, hey man, I'm just trying to get some revenue. Can we get something that's, just a little bit more, because I'm getting like $600, $700, and I needed more, just to kind of get more revenue for the truck, because I knew that the weekend was coming around, and I needed to get that revenue built up for at least to knock off a chunk of that check as far as for the truck payment for those 10 days. So declined it, got another load that was about $300 higher. So I'm not going to complain. It was just $300, but it was higher. So I accepted it, rode on through, picked it up, got another load that went back to Kentucky, and it was like $600, whatever. Then my day shift fleet manager, I reached out to him and I said, man, I'm just trying to get more revenue. This is, he sent me a 700-mile run that paid like $800. I mean, it was like, a little bit more than $1 a mile. And so I declined it. And I told him why I declined it. And so he got me this load going into, so I came in at almost $2,400, but just like Bags talked about on his video last night, I'm coming out at $800. So big difference. I mean, a huge difference. But you go in high, you come out low. But you typically come into Kentucky low and you come out high. So that's what I wasn't understanding. As far as why I was getting on, keep on getting all these low coming out of Kentucky, because I would go to Ohio, come back into Kentucky, and I'm like, all right, well, at least I'm going to get a good load coming out. And that wasn't the case for 2 runs. So I just declined it, So Eric, having that flexibility is a perk in my opinion as well. Now, do you want to just decline loads? No. But if it's not feasible for you, then you got to do what you got to do. You're a business owner, and for me, I needed revenue, and that's what I told him, and that's why I declined it. But you can never take 10 days off as a company. Excellent. Thanks for explaining. I don't think so. I'm not 100%. David H would probably be the person where he's company. But I think I think that like 10 days is really kind of pushing it for company. Not saying you can't, but it's pushing it. So, and being able to go home when I want to go home, if I want to go home for whatever days that I just tell my fleet manager and he routes me to the house. Now, I haven't done that as far as I've only went home. This was my second time, but the first time was only for 4 days. But the 4 days, in my opinion, guys, it goes by way too quick. 10 days was a little bit of a stretch. I'm not going to lie. I was missing getting back in the truck and running, but it was I enjoy it. I enjoy the freedom, the flexibility. And the biggest thing though, Eric, is your revenue. Is your money. You're talking about, that's when what Kyle was talking about earlier is how many miles do you usually average. And so let's just add it up. I mean, if you're doing, so let's say you're doing 3,000 miles, and I mean, I'm pretty sure that if you're I don't know what they call it, a low boy or whatever, not a condo, but if you're in that, I think you get 49 to 50 cents a mile. Otherwise, I think it's 47. So if you ran that 3,000 miles that I was talking about, you're before taxes, you're only going to be making $1,470. And I made on a 3,000. I brought home without taxes. Again, you're $1,470 without taxes. I brought home $3,436 before taxes. So you're talking about a huge difference, almost 60% difference right there. Now that was just on that particular load, but that just shows you the amount of money that you're leaving on the table, in my opinion, that if you go company versus lease. But company versus lease too, there comes more responsibilities, for you as well. So yeah, my PSD trainer was company and TNT lease. PSD trainer has to run his ass off and only make 60% of what the TNT trainer made. And I hated having a designated fuel stop that I couldn't deviate from. Yep, exactly. So you got some, you got some perks, and you got some things that are, Now I can tell you this: the company insurance, you still got to pay for it, but it's better than if you were to get the lease owner, the lease operator's insurance. Now you can still get the insurance, but it's just not as good if you were a company. I think that's again just trying to have a perk to go company, but in my opinion, the lease operator way far exceeds the of the company. Now that's just my opinion. So, well, guys, I just want to make a quick video. I hadn't made one because that one got deleted, and I got really frustrated. I mean, I worked on it for probably about, anybody that makes and puts together videos, they know that it takes, at least an hour. In this case, it took a little bit longer because, like I said, it started out like an hour and 40 to 50 minute video footage, and I shrank it down to 17 minutes and 21 seconds. So I had to delete, fast forward, and do all your transitions. It takes time to do that, and it kind of made me a little bit frustrated that it got deleted because it had some good footage for you guys. I was at my 02, and my 90 was a Costco in Baltimore. Maryland was the 02. The New Jersey Monroe Township was my 90. And if you ever go over there, guys, it's once they get you in the door, I mean, they unload you like that right there. But I can tell you, be careful in the yard because they have about 500 doors there with trucks. I mean, like, I have video footage of it looked like a parade, and they were literally back. I mean, they were wrapped around the building, and it's probably about a good quarter of a mile of trucks that were empty, just trying to get outside, trying to get out the gate to get their bills. And once, typically when you're at a shipper or a receiver, you go back into the dock. People give you common courtesy as far as to stop, and let you back in there within reason. I mean, if you go in there and you keep on doing it like over and over and over, they're going to go around you. But it was, I mean, you'd be backing up, and sometimes you would find somebody behind you and then coming in front of you. You find the yard dog running in between trucks. So be careful. Make sure that you're watching all angles, even though that you think that people are stopped or whatever. Be careful out there on the road, and I'll get some more video footage for you on the way to Kentucky. You guys have a good one. Okay.